Hello and welcome. Let's do procedural generation in the style of something like the Diablo games, right? So what this means is we have predetermined little pockets of pieces that we randomly put together to create a big dungeon, right? So it's not entirely random. We don't make an algorithm that just starts in a little point like a seed and then just builds an entire thing out of nothing. We still have some control over what is being put down. Think of it kind of like making Tetris, right? It's kind of like making a big game of Tetris, but we make it automatically, right? So this is what I mean. Like the procedural generation where you create an entire world, kind of like Minecraft or Terraria, that's a completely different thing. What I'm going to show you is the stuff that I've been using in my game, and it's like I said, it's what's used in games like Diablo. If you think about it, if you play Diablo 3 or something like that, the rifts, like you can see patterns. When you start walking around, you're like, oh, I've seen this corner before. And that's because they have these determined pieces that the map gets put together randomly, right? And then it creates a whole thing. Like, right. Anyways, let me show you how this stuff is built. So I have nothing in the scene. All that I have is my character. He has the top down movement. He does this stuff, right? That's all that I need to like move around and do stuff. Actually, I'm gonna add in the camera. Sorry, I forgot to do this. Let me zoom in and let's search for smooth camera. Smooth camera, and then we just hit apply. There we go. So now the camera follows us around. There we go. We can't really tell because everything's black, but trust me, the camera's moving. So how do we start this whole procedural thing? Well, we're going to use spawners. So we're going to have this one object that's going to be like spawn up. And we're going to tell the room that goes up to be spawned from that point. So we need 4 directions, up, down, left, and right. Right? So we need to create the spawners first. And before that, here's a big thing, right? Let me just get this clear to you. Procedural generation is random. That's the whole thing of it, right? That's the appeal. Is that everything's random, but it's random in a certain order, right? And what I mean by this is measurements are the key. You can't just have random measurements. You can't just throw stuff together in different shapes and different measures and hope that they're all going to fit. That doesn't happen. Like, think Tetris, right? Tetris is all different pieces, but they all have the same amount of blocks so that their shapes can connect with one another, right? So the actual very first thing we're going to do is set up a grid, and then we're going to make all of our pieces based on those measurements, okay? So let me zoom in. Also, if this is your first video watching, I am visually impaired. That's why I use this many stuff, like magnifying glasses and so on. So very first thing, show grid. And these little squares pop up. Now, that is too small. I'm going to set up a grid, and I'm going to use pieces, like big pieces, and I'm going to make my squares 96 by 96. 96 by 96. And also, I'm going to make the grid black because the background's black. So this way is just nicer to work with because you don't actually see the grid. Yeah, look, the grid disappeared. You can still see it over the character, like there's a black line. But for the majority of it, you don't see it anymore. Now, the character is 96 by 96. And once the grid is showing and it's set up properly, if you drag and drop, now the character is going to snap to the grid. It's no longer like free play. And this is going to be key for us to create our things. So, the next stuff is we're going to make the spawners. add a new object. And I'm just going to use basic shapes with basic colors. I'm not going to use actual assets. So that way, if you want to follow along, you can. All you need is a character that moves around. So I'm going to create the sprite. I'm going to call this sprite move spawn up. Spawn up. Also, naming is quite important for you to, like, because this stuff is very, like, you need to think a lot about how you want stuff to connect. So make sure that your names are easily recognizable. Like, if you can think clearly through them. If you make weird names, then you're gonna make it difficult for you to like think about this kind of stuff. I hope that made sense. We're gonna create it with Piscal. And at the very start, I'm gonna go here on the side. And wait, it was already up. God dang it. This is going splendidly. Right. It's the above one, you dingus. Right, so we're going to change this to 96 by 96 because remember, we're using 96 by 96 squares. You should do this to your assets. We're going to grab the paint bucket. And for the spawners, I'm going to make them red. Just like that. Going to hit save. And now we have a red square. I'm going to hit apply. Now, this stuff doesn't need anything, any behaviors. We're not going to change it or anything like that. So I can just copy paste this stuff. So I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to call it spawn down. And to reiterate what I was saying about keeping things in order, like in your head, I always do up, down, left, right. That's always my thinking. So every time I even do programming, the events, whatever, the order is always up, down, left, right. That way it makes it so much easier for me to think about stuff when I'm building. So make little patterns for yourself when you're building stuff. Let's duplicate again. So up, down, left. And the next one is going to be right. Up, down, left, right. Wasn't that the Konami code? Up, down, or is it like up, up, down, down, left, right, something like that? A, B, A, B. All right, so we have our spawners. Now we need tiles. So we're going to add a new object, add a sprite, and we're just going to call this tile. We're only going to need one tile. So, and the tile we're going to create with Piscal or Piscal. Tell me in the comments, is Piscal French? Also, if you're enjoying this, please subscribe, leave a like, all that jazz. It really, really helps. Right. So, grab the paint bucket. Is this too blue? Is this too blue? Nah, that's fine. Oh, shoot. So I forgot to make it 96 by 96 because I was talking. But it's fine because we go here, 96 by 96. And since we have resize canvas content, it's just going to stretch the blue to 96 by 96. We're going to hit save and hit apply. And we don't need to do anything extra on here. So this is all we need to make like a big dungeon. We need 4 spawners and some tiles and a character for us to move around. So on the very first scene, we're going to go like this. We're going to drag our tile and let's make it like this. Wait, why is that not? Why is that snapping weird? There we go. Yeah, why is that snapping weird? Did I forget to make you 96 by 96? What's going on here? Yeah. 9696. Press enter. Save. Okay. I must have done something wrong. But anyways, so now, there we go. Now it's properly 96 by 96. See, it wasn't snapping together because, I done goofed somewhere. So I'm going to copy, I'm going to paste, and I'm going to make this little room. Just like that. We don't need to make it very fancy. Actually, you know what? Let's make it actually usable for a game. So I'm going to make it like 3 squares. 1, 2, 3, and then there you go. And then we do that, and that. And then we're going to do the same. 1, 2, 3. Wait. 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one is the block. Did I do the same thing there? I did, didn't I? 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one is the block. All right, so 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one is the block. There you go. So now it's perfectly neat. So let's call this the starting area. All right. And we're going to start putting our spawner up there, our down, our left, and our right. Did I do that right? Yes, I did. Cool beans. Now, keep in mind, another thing is where you put your spawners. Okay? So if you put it here, and you spawn from here, and the room spawns towards the left, it's going to look weird, right? It's not going to connect to this. So always be sure where you put your blocks, where you put your spawners, and then where you put the external layouts to build from, right? We're going to see that that's going to be the next step, okay? But let's be aware of where everything is, right? So next step is we're going to create some external layouts, and that's going to be our Tetris blocks, right, to create the dungeon. And we're going to go here on the side. We're going to external layout. We're going to hit a plus. And now let's do what's an easy one? Let's do 3-way up. So 3-way up. That means that this is the room that gets created upwards, and then that room is going to have 3 ways. Okay? I'll show you what I mean. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect this to our scene. Choose a scene. We only have one scene. Wait, I have 2 for some reason. But we're using the first one. And since we connect to the same scene, I think everything's already set up with the grid. Is it? No, it's not. So, remember, we're going to set up our grid. So, show the grid. Set up the grid. The grid is 96 by 96 because that's the blocks we're using. 9696. I'm going to go to black because it's nice when it's like blended together. It's nicer to work with. And snapping, yep. Now it's snapping to grid. Now, here's the thing. External layouts, when they get created from position 0, 0 on the editor. And if you hover over that corner, then you see down here in the corner, these numbers moving, that's the X and the Y. And if you move towards there, that's going to be where 0, 0 is, right? So the external layout gets created from this very corner. And we should keep that in mind when building things. So for example, let's say we want to create up, right? Let's say if our spawner was here, and then we had this corner there, right? That's the corner that we have on the other one, and then we have the upwards thing. So how do I make a room be built upwards, right, in matching this thing? Well, we're going to replace this one, right? Because when we build the room, we're going to delete the spawner, and we're going to start creating our room right on top of it, right? So we start there in that corner, okay? And if you remember, the other room was, we had 3 empty, so 1, 2, 3, and then there was the wall. So that's the beginning. Now we want to create upwards, right? So we're going to keep building upwards. So let's make a little hallway. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do a 4-piece hallway just to give some breathing room between the rooms, right? Because if you don't make hallways, then the rooms get too on top of each other and they start like mashing together, and you don't want that, right? So you want some breathing room between the rooms. You don't have to make a straight hallway. Like we could make it like a zigzag kind of thing. But then I call this a 3-way because we're going to create 3 rooms from this room. So I'm going to make it like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing, right? I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one is that. And then I'm going to go like that. And then 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one is the thing. That lines up, right? No, it doesn't. 1, 2, 3. Wait. So it's like that. Okay, let's roll with that for now. I think I know what that is. 1, 2, 3, and then, and this one lines up with that one, right? Yeah, it does. So you're gonna go like that. And I think we need to extend one more, right? Make it 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one. Okay, so that's even now, right? So now I call this one a 3-way because now we're gonna go and create the spawn up. I'm gonna put it there. The down we're not gonna create because if you think, we just came from down, right? We created this room above. So if we have a spawn down, then it's gonna create over the room where we just came from, and we don't want that. Okay? So we're gonna skip the down, and we're just gonna make left and right. So left and right, just like that. Cool. We have our first room. So now we have a way to go up, and now we need to make the sides. So let's go here. Pardon me. I'm gonna duplicate this one because that way it already has all the stuff inside. And I'm gonna call this let's make it simple for now, okay? Because this is the first episode. Let's go 1 way left. And I'm already gonna duplicate it, and I'm gonna call this one duplicate. I'm gonna call this one 1 way right. Just like that. Now I'm going to hit this one and that one. That way we open both of them. Right, so three-way up. This is good. So I'm going to close that one. I'm going to close this scene. This this was like stuff I was messing around with 3D. We have the main scene, and then we have the left and the right now. Okay. So this means this is the left one, right? Yes, this is the left. So this means we want to create the room towards the left. I'm just going to delete all of this stuff for clarification. And it's the same thing. Wait, I just duplicated this. Why does this not have the grid? Oh my god, what is the point of duplicating things if it doesn't have the grid? Right? You just made a dupe. So you should have the same settings. Oh well, this doesn't take that long. Alright, 64, not 64. 96 by 96. And we hit play. And yes, this does take a little time. You know, you gotta think that procedural generation isn't like made very quickly. You take your time, and then the game makes everything for you. So we're creating this one toward from the left spawner. So you gotta think it's the exact same principle as before, right? So the external layout gets built from that point, the 0, 0. So if it's here, the spawner's there, then we're gonna delete this spawner, and we're gonna substitute it with a piece. I think this is how it works. I'm not 100% on it, but that's why we're gonna test it afterwards, and we're gonna see if the blocks are lined up correctly. Anyways, so it's the same deal. You have one there, and then 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one is that. And I'm gonna make a 3-block hallway, just like before. And I call this one the one way because the only way we're gonna go is upward, because we're controlling, right? You can make it go in all 4 directions. Your dungeon builds outwards in all directions. But that's kind of lame, in my perspective. You can do that. Once you learn how to do this, you can adjust it to your own thing. But I like to make dungeons with a certain direction, right? So you can follow along. Just it has extra rooms for you to explore or you to get lost in. But it's never like you get all the way down to figure out that, oh my god, now I need to go all the way up past everything that I gone through to go to this corner. It's just awful design. I hate it. It's time consuming. That's all it is. So let's make the room. How many squares did we make on the other one? It's like 1, 2, 3. And then the spawner? Something like that. 1, 2, 3. This one doesn't need a spawner. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to start building up. 1, 2, 3. And then here we build a wall. 1, 2, 3. This is not right. No, we need one more. This is crooked. It's annoying me. This is a little crooked. Why is this crooked? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So it should be. No, it should be fine like this. It's not that crooked. It's just a corner, right? Let's see from there. 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth one. Okay, it lines up. It lines up. It's okay. This is fine. Okay, cool. So now, just like before, so we're gonna go up from this room. So we grab the spawn up spawner. Just like that. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, spawner. 1, 2, 3, room. 1, 2, 3, and then this corner, right? Okay. Okay. I'm just taking measurements. I think this is fine. Yes. Anyways, let's do the exact same thing, but reverse. I was looking for the room. There we go. Right. And again, I'm just going to delete all of this stuff. Like that. And again, the same principle. Oh my god, I forgot. There is no grid. Why is there no grid? Is this a bug? Last time I tried to explain something, there was some sort of like bug with a patch that did something it wasn't supposed to. And just made explaining more harder. So 9.6 by 9.6. Hit apply. And now it's snapping. Okay, is that the corner? There is the corner. So so 1, 2, 3, and the fourth one is the wall. All right, we're gonna make a 3-block hallway, just like so, just like that, like that. And what was it? It's like 3 up. So 3 up, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's where we stand. 1, 2, 3. And then it was like 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 1. And then it was 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Sweet. That was nice and easy. You know, people with OCD watching this are gonna be like, "Oh, thank you. Oh my god, I love this." And we're gonna grab the spawn up, and we're gonna put the spawn up there. Now remember, because of the way this is being created, we always put the spawner on the same side, right? And for now, this is good enough for us to start building. Oh no, no. It's not. It's not good enough. We're gonna need one more set of pieces. So we have one way left, one way right, 3-way up. Now we need some dead ends. So now let's duplicate this one. And let's make it dead end up. Do we use the dead end up? Let me think. Maybe on the first one. I'm gonna duplicate. And again, dead end. Down. Again, remember, keep things the same. Duplicate. Left. And duplicate. Right. Up, down, left, right. I'm gonna hit this one. And we're gonna close all the other ones we're not using. so it doesn't like confuse my brain because this is early in the morning. I've just woken up. All right, dead end up. So we need to make a dead end when we generate, well, a dead end on the upside. So again, if the up is here in the corner, oh my god, freaking, I almost swore there. Show grid. Why is it doing this? Set up the grid. This has got to be something new. I don't remember it doing this. 96 by 96. Apply. There we go. Right, so if the spawner's there, we're gonna delete the spawner. And then we're gonna create the thing. There. Because remember, we have like a wall and then 3 open spaces and then a wall. So this is what I'm gonna use. That's the up. So we're gonna close the up. Why didn't I open the other ones? I don't know. So up, down, left, right. Right. So let's do the downward one. And I'm sorry. Yes, I know this is boring. You can skip ahead. Set up the grid. Again, I will make a bug report afterwards because I don't think this is right. Because we're duplicating something and it's not having the same things. And it's connected to a scene play that already has the thing created, the grid. So dead end down. Right. So again, we imagine that corner is the thing. We delete these. And if the corner is the thing, then we do the 3 spaces. We cover the 3 spaces, and then we create a little wall there. Okay, so that's the down. And now we need to do the same thing for the left. Oh my god, this is starting to annoy me now. This can't be intended. Like, they go out of their way to make stuff as user friendly, like to have the software disturb your workflow as little as possible. So this can't be right. Like, this got to be some sort of oversight or some sort of bug when they updated it. So this is left. So if that is the one, we go like that. Then we go like that. Then we thing, and then we that. And that should work. All right. So next one is show grid. Set up the grid. Again, you can just skip ahead. I know you already seen most of this stuff. And black. And apply. And the reason why I'm not cutting, it's mainly because 1, I don't feel like it because I'm lazy. And 2, well, it's not that I'm lazy. It's just it's so much of a hassle. And two, I know there's people that enjoy seeing the whole thing. So you can just skip ahead. So dead end right. There we go. We're finally done with this nonsense. So now we have to make a tally at the end. This is what we got so far. We have a 3-way up. We have a 1-way left, 1-way right, and then we have the 4 dead ends. Okay? Cool. Now let's finally do programming. And this is where we start. Okay? Awesome. Da-da-da-da. Don't do that. Nintendo's gonna get upset. All right, so let's create. This is just to animate the character. Let's do dungeon generation. Dungeon generation. And now I'm gonna copy another one of these event groups. I'm gonna put there. And at the start. / 4-way. So now here, I'm going to put it there. So now we're going to check and see how many spawners are in the scene currently, right? So we're going to go like this. Instances. And then we're going to find this one that says number of object instances on the scene. Okay, we select this one. And we say object spawn up. We have autocomplete. If it's equal to 1, we're going to hit OK. Awesome. So now we have this thing. So this is going to check if currently in the scene, if one of these things exists. Now we're going to copy paste this one and we're going to do, well, we're going to copy paste it a couple of times and we're going to do it for one of each. So up, down, left, and right. Cool beans. So if you have one left, one down, one left, one up, one down, one left, one right, right? Then we're going to do the next set of events, which is, I'm going to do Shift D to create a sub event. But before that, I'm going to hit action and we're going to create a scene number variable. And the variable is going to be called room direction. Room direction. I'm going to set it to random in range open between 1, 4. And then we close. And I'm going to hit OK. Right. So if one of each of these exists, we're going to do this variable room direction and we're going to generate a number between 1 and 4. Now, here we're going to do scene number variable. The variable is going to be the same one, so room direction. And if it's equal to 1. So if we had a random number and it came out as 1, then we're going to create external layout. Create from external layout. And the number 1, this is where we're going to start making the different combinations, okay? So again, I'm going to make it so that 1 is up, 2 is down, 3 is left, and 4 is right. Because again, I'm keeping with the theme up, down, left, right. Okay. Um, so we're going to generate the three-way up on the spawn up X and spawn up. Oh, dearie me. Spawn up Y. There we go. And the Z doesn't matter, so you can put it like 0 or something. And we're going to hit OK. All right. So now we're going to create a couple more. So the next one is, so we have an up, so up, down. So now we are only going to create one way. We're going to create the next way, the one that goes forward. We only create one of them, and the other three, or the leftovers, right, are going to be dead ends. Okay, so we make the next room, and everything else we have left, they become dead ends. They close off the previous room. Okay, so we go up. So so down, left, and right, they're going to be dead ends. So the next one is dead end down, to be created on spawn down. And this is going to be created on spawn down. Okay. We click OK. And now, again, we're going to copy paste. Double click, because we can't change the spawner there. So down left, so dead end left, is going to be created on left. And spawn left. Cool, cool. And lastly, don't worry, this is going to pick up. It's only the first ones that take a long time. Copy, paste. And right. So spawn right. And spawn right. Okay. And there we go. We have the first selection. Now, this is going to be quicker because we're going to go like this. So now, the spawners, even though you can't change them here, we're going to keep the same order, so it's going to be way easier to like modify these now, right? So we're going to copy paste the entire event. Copy paste. And now we're going to go, if it's number 2, then the three-way up turns into dead end up. And because, remember the order, up, down. So down. Oh, wait. We didn't make a down room. So never mind. So actually, it's going to be weighted. So we're going to keep number 2 as the same. Okay? So 1 and 2 generate a room up. Right? On the next episode, we'll make more directions. But this is just to make things work, so you see more or less how it works. All right? So number 3 is going to be, so that was up, down, left. So left becomes a one-way left. And the up becomes a dead end up. Okay? So then dead end up. Oh my god, that is so hard to say in the morning. Without sounding like a toddler. Alright, and number 4 is we make this one a dead end. So dead end left. And we create the way right. So one way right. Cool. Now we go like this. So we have at the beginning. So now I'm going to copy paste this one. And I'm going to go one way left. No, one way up. It has to be like the destination, the only thing that we have open. So if it, the only thing that we have open is a one way up. Okay. So now we open, and is spawn up in the thing 1? Yes. And then we turn all of these to 0 because we only have a spawn up. Okay. So if all of these ones are zeros, so if we have one spawn up, but we don't have a spawn down, a left or a right, then instead of doing a random in range, we just do this to 1. Because there's only one. There can be only one. And since we only use the 1, we're going to delete these other ones. Again, we're going to modify this to make cooler stuff. But for now, this is good enough. And then, since we don't have the other spawners, we're going to delete all the ones that don't exist in the scene. Okay? So we only have the spawn up. If you leave the other create layout on the thing and the spawner doesn't exist, it's going to create the layout anyways on position 00 of the scene. And this is just going to pile up a whole bunch of stuff at the start, right? So you don't want that. We want to make the distinction. If the spawners do not exist, then we delete the possibility of them being created. Okay? Hopefully that made sense. You're going to see the rest. Don't worry. And again, we're going to make the distinction here. One way, let's put it here. Left, one way up, and right, one way up. It's they both do the exact same thing, right? But this is for later when we want to modify stuff. So this time we don't change anything because it's literally the exact same thing. Okay. Next, what do we need? Right. So if we preview, stuff is gonna happen. Also, let me change the camera. Let's do at the beginning of the scene. At the beginning of the scene, let's change the zoom. Change camera zoom. To 0.25. We should be able to see it right like that. On the base layer, camera camera 0. So let's see what kind of madness comes from this. There you go. So we created a room, but then it stopped. No, why didn't it go any further? Right? Why did it only do that much? Well, it's because if you see, the other spawners are still existing. Let's try 15, see if it's still visible. And also, I'm going to do key released, keys released, keys W. Wait, it has to be little w, I think. Then we're going to change the scene. Or we're going to reset the scene, right? But we say change. Change scene. Choose the scene to untitled scene 1. Press OK. Okay, let's go. So, as you can tell, we created the room, but now there's 4. There's still 4. There's more, right? Now there's 4, 5, 6, 7. Right. So we broke the event. There's too many spawners. We only want to spawn when there's a specific number of spawners. This is too many spawners, so it's like, okay, we're done. Right? I just reset the scene. Now we randomize towards the left, and up, and right. Okay, so all of these are working. Okay, the dead ends are being put down. Everything is working. We're just not creating any more because of the spawner conundrum, right? Because there's more spawners than we told it to exist. So how do we do this? How do we fix this? Well, we fix this like this. But beforehand, let's put a limit on the number of rooms we can create, so it doesn't like go infinite and then just break everything. So we're gonna scene number variable room count, and if it's less or equal to let's say 10 rooms, so it doesn't like go infinite. And then we put, wait, where's our 3-way? Did my brain break? Oh yeah, I forgot to do the 3-way. Oops. It's okay. We'll do it now. So at the beginning of the scene, we're going to do this one, the randomize, and we're also going to add a counter, right? So we're going to do room count, add 1. Okay. Now I'm going to copy this one, and I'm going to put it on these ones. Like that. And go like that. All right, so now every time we create a room, we're going to give it a +1, and when it gets to 10, it stops building rooms. Okay? But before that, let's create the 3-way. Did I not create the 3-way? Am I tripping? How did I forget that? Let's do up 3-way. And on the up 3-way, we have up, left, and right. We don't have down. So we put the down to 0, and we have an up, a left, and a right. Okay? And here, we're going to make it generate between 1 and 3. There we go. Since we're going to only have 3 possibilities, right? Or we can have more possibilities, but we're going to have 3 directions. That's what I meant. So first of all, let's get rid of one of these. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So if it's 1, let's see. If it's 1, we're gonna go up, and then dead end down. The down doesn't exist, so we get rid of it. And then we have dead end left or dead end right. And the next one, oh my god, I deleted the wrong one, didn't I? Of course, I'm a moron. Dead end down. Let's just do it. So dead end up. dead end down doesn't exist, so we deleted it. And let's say we go left. So one way left. And dead end right. Okay. And for the final one, we go dead end up. The down we don't have in the room, so we deleted it. We go dead end left. And we create the room on the right. So one way right. And are these 1, 2, 3? Yes, these are 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. We fixed it. I forgot about this one. I don't know. It's early in the morning, okay? Give me a break. There's a lot of explaining. Right, so we have our little conundrum. So to fix our little conundrum with the spawners, we go like this. Player movement, not dungeon. I'm going to go like that so I can create an event. And then I'm going to drag the event upwards. And then we can open that again. I'm going to make it so that at the beginning of the scene, I'm going to press OK. And at the beginning of the scene, we're going to change an object boolean. Change boolean variable of the object. Okay. Here's a different thing that I forget. Here's another thing. Let's create a room, a group. So let's add a new group. We're going to call this group spawners. Let's go inside the group and let's add all of our spawners here. So spawn up. Oh my god. Spawn down, spawn left, spawn right. And now we're going to hit apply. Let's go to our events. And now we're going to change. We're going to set the boolean value of variable, let's say active of the object. Let's put our group here. So spawners. There you go. It shows there. And we're going to set it to true. So at the beginning of the scene, all the spawners that exist in the scene, they're going to have this variable called active, and it's going to be true now. Okay? So now at the end, I'm going to close this again so I can make a new event. I'm going to make 2 new events. And it's going to be object boolean. Object. We're going to put our spawner group here. Spawners. The variable is going to be active. And if it's true, okay, then we delete object spawners. So if the object, the spawn up, down, left, and right have this are holding to this variable called active, and that variable says that it's true, then they're gonna get deleted after we build stuff. Okay, and then after we build stuff, we're gonna copy paste the boolean that puts them true. We're gonna put it here at the end. And we're going to copy this one. I'm going to put it there. And then after that, we say, but hey, if the spawners have the Boolean active as false, then we set them to true. Okay? So at the beginning, we set the ones that we have on the scene as true. Then they create a room. Then the 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 GDevelop will check, hey, do you have this thing that says true? They go, uh-huh. Then they get deleted. But we just created new ones. But the new ones have not been activated yet. So they don't get deleted. They stay. But after the old ones get deleted, the new ones get set as active. And then it goes around again. And then they have a second chance to create the next room. So this becomes like a loop, right? They create, they get deleted, the new ones get active, the active ones create the room, the active ones get deleted, the new ones become active, and so on and so on and so on and so on, right? Hopefully that made a little sense. Now that you've seen me build this stuff. Now let's see if it works. Let's hit preview. And it does. Look at that. We generated a dungeon. How cool. This is so awesome when stuff just works, right? And then you get to the end. We created 10, and then we got to the end, and there's nothing. So now we need to make it so that when we go to 10 or more, then we create the exit. Okay? I don't know how long this has been recording for. So I think I'll make the exit and the separate rooms on the next episode, because otherwise this is gonna get to be ridiculously long, right? But let me show you something real cool. Dungeon generation. Gonna make it like this. At the beginning of the scene, we're gonna set that, and we're gonna start the timer. So start scene timer. We're gonna call this timer Dungeon Gen. Okay. And now on this event, we're gonna go scene timer value. Which timer? The dungeon gen. Oh, it's already there. Dungeon. Oh my god. I am mistyping so much. If it's greater or equal to 1 second. Okay. If it's greater or equal to 1 second. And then we reset the timer. Like that. And now I'm going to drag all of this stuff under the timer. So that way, the timer is gating the generation of the thing. So you can see the everything being generated every second. Let's make it every second and a half. 1.5 seconds. Okay? So now, at the beginning of the scene, you're going to start seeing stuff being created. And there he goes. How cool is that? Let's make the camera even smaller. So let's go real tiny. 0.05. It's going to be tiny. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this if you're on the phone. Look. See the dungeon being generated? How cool is that? Let's go again. How awesome is that? So, in the next episode, I'm going to show you how to add the extra rooms. Because right now we have basically a collection of rooms, right? It's a hallway. It's being built in a certain direction. We weighted this to go up, right? So that's why it keeps going up. Because we made a left that went up, a right that went up, and so on and so on. But we can, instead of making dead ends, we can make extra rooms. We just need to keep in mind that one of them needs to go somewhere, and the other one, the extra room, can just be for flavor, right? For you to hide treasure or whatever inside. Okay? And then we're going to make the exit right at the end. But for now, we have a dungeon. Like, this could be a game. You could add stuff to this, right? You could add objects and so on, and you could create your own game with procedural generation. Like, every time you'd play, it'd be a little different. I mean, there's only a certain amount of combinations when you have this little amount of rooms, but it would still be a completely different experience. Right? So, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, if you did, subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. All that stuff really helps the channel. Okay? Check the description for links like to Mennonite, to donate if you want to. It would really help a lot. Do all that stuff. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, just leave a comment saying, "Hey, I made it to the end. You didn't put me to sleep." It would make me happy, okay? Or just let me know if you found this stuff helpful. Okay? Anyways, until the next time, till the next episode, I hope you have a good day and stay safe and all that jazz. Till then, peace out, guys.